Because the word motherfucker is a noun. It describes a person, place, or thing.
It's the motherfucking pie. Crew members. What up? What's up? What's down? It's your boy Beanie Man, aka Mr. Headquarters.
Mr. Headquarters taught me.
You already know what it is. Motherfucking picks, week 12 of the NFL season. I'm back at it, man. I'm already out here in HQ, repping the 504, the West Bank to be more specific. I'm about to break down week 12's games. I'm recording this on a Thursday night. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I'm recording this on Thanksgiving night after all the games have already been played on Thanksgiving Day. So I'm going to be recapping the Thanksgiving Day games of week 12 and previewing the rest of week 12, Friday night and Sunday, as well as Monday night. And also, I'm going to be recapping week 11's games real quickly as well. So, with that being said, welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the motherfucking channel. Drop us a like, you know what I'm saying? Support the crew, join the crew. You already know what it is. And make sure you check out our main podcast that will be dropping brand new episodes very soon. The motherfucking podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to be up to date on all our information. All right? So, also make sure you join us on IG, TikTok, and all our audio podcast platforms such as Pandora, Spotify, just to name a few. All right. So, with that being said, also let's get into these games. Week 11. Let's get into these games real quick. So, first thing first, Thursday night football. I picked the Ravens to win this game, and they held up for me. They won this game 34-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals at home. But unfortunately, Joe Burrow, Louisiana's own Joe Burrow, got injured in this game, and he ended up being out for the season. So get well soon to Joe Burrow, man. That one sucks to hear. So he's out for the season. But anyway, Lamar Jackson led all passing yards in this game. He had 264 passing yards. Joe Mixon had 69 rushing yards, and Odell Beckham looked like his old self, getting 116 yards receiving in this game. All right. So next game we had the Dallas Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers. Nothing to see here. Dallas won by 23, 33-10 over the Carolina Panthers on the road. Dak Prescott didn't even need 200 yards passing. He had 189. Tony Pollard had 61 yards rushing. Adam Thielen had 74 yards receiving. All right. And we covered that game. So we won that game. Dallas won that game. So next up, we had Cleveland against Pittsburgh. I lost this game. I picked Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh lost this game 13-10. In comes Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Did a decent job, had 165 yards passing. They did enough to win this game. It wasn't a pretty game at all. The Steelers' offense looks atrocious. Cleveland was able to get this game and win this game and stay up in the AFC North. All right. Next game was the Chicago Bears lost to the Detroit Lions. We called this game. The Lions won this game barely, 31-26. Jared Goff looked okay in this game, 236 yards passing. Justin Fields led all rushing in this game, 104 yards rushing. DJ Moore had 96 yards receiving. All right, next up, they had the Los Angeles Chargers against the Green Bay Packers. I lost this game as well. I picked the Chargers to win this game. I don't know why I did that. I picked the Chargers to win. They lost 23-20 on the road to the Green Bay Packers, who all of a sudden the Green Bay Packers look like they're a good team now all of a sudden. Jordan Love had 322 yards passing. Justin Herbert had 73 yards rushing. And Keenan Allen led all receiving yards and 116 receiving yards. Next up, we had the Arizona Cardinals and the Houston Texans. I called this game. Houston won this game. They kind of scared me a little bit. Arizona gave them a little bit of a game in this one, but I did pick Houston. Houston won this game 21-16 at home. C.J. Stroud had 336 yards passing. Looked like a superstar that he is, and we'll be talking about that later on in the episode. So next up, we had the Tennessee Titans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. We picked the Jaguars to win this game, and we were correct. They won 34-14. Trevor Lawrence looked decent finally for once a week this season. He looked off all year. He led with 262 yards passing. Calvin Ridley had 103 yards passing, receiving, and Travis Etienne led with 52 yards rushing. Almost no offense from Tennessee in this game, by the way. Next up, we had the Las Vegas Raiders against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins won this game 20-13. They barely beat the Raiders. Tua Tagovailoa had passing yards of 325 yards. Raheem Mostert had 86 yards rushing. Tyreek Hill had 146 yards receiving. Best in the league, by the way. And we won that game, by the way. We picked the Dolphins. All right. We lost this game. I'll say that out front. Big upset. The Giants beat the Commanders. The Commanders lost at home 31-19. Sam Howell had led all passing yards, 256 yards passing. Saquon Barkley had 83 yards rushing. And Darius Slayton had 82 yards receiving. Next up, the San Francisco 49ers took care of business at home, 27-14 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brock Purdy had 333 yards passing. Christian McCaffrey had 78 yards rushing. And Brandon Ayuk had 156 yards receiving. We won that game as well. 49ers took that game. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. We called this game. We picked the Bills to win, and they did. They beat the living breaks off the Jets. They beat the wings, the propellers, and everything else off these motherfuckers. 32-6. The Bills won at home. Josh Allen looked decent in this game. He had 275 yards passing in a win over the Jets, as they should at this point in the season. All right. Next up, we had the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. We called this one with the Seahawks winning. We was wrong. Seahawks lost this game 17-16 on the road. Geno Smith and that offense just don't look good. DK Metcalf, they did a lot in this game, but they didn't do enough to win the game. And we'll be talking about that more later on in the season, in this episode as well, about the Seattle Seahawks problems. But next up, we had the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Denver Broncos. We called the Vikings. I wanted the Broncos to win, but I wasn't happy with picking the Vikings game. Picking the Vikings to win this game. I was a little concerned that Denver might win, and they did. They came back and won this game 21-20. The Broncos took care of business at home. So we lost that game. Russell Wilson looked like he's back. I'm just saying. Put some respect on Russell's name. All right. That was Sunday Night Football. Now, Monday Night Football, we had a good matchup. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs from this year's Super Bowl rematch. It was not that great of an offensive matchup as we thought it was going to be. But the Philadelphia Eagles came out and pulled it out and won this game on the road, 21-17, getting their revenge. A small revenge. It's not like they're holding up the championship. But they are the best team record-wise in the league. They won this game as they should on the road. Now, that was week 11. Brock Purdy had the best quarterback rating out of all passes through week 11. Threw for 333 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He looked pretty good. Will Levis looked pretty good this week. 2 touchdowns. They still lost, but had 143 yards passer rating, 13 out of 17, 158 yards passing. Did okay. Tommy DeVito came in third, had 3 touchdowns, no picks. Actually looked pretty good. Might be seeing a potential Might be seeing a potential change in shift if Daniel Jones don't come back. I mean, obviously he's out for the season, but Tommy DeVito looks this good for the rest of the year. They might have to make some decisions going into next year. Lamar Jackson came in fourth, 2 touchdowns, led all in rushing yards in this game as well as having 121-yard passer rating, 264 yards passing, 16 out of 26. Did damn good in a win over Cincinnati. Trevor Lawrence looked good, 24-32 passing, 262 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 119 passer rating, and a dub. I mean, it looked like a good day for them and winning over a division opponent. They did their job this week in Jacksonville. That's all the top passes. Top receivers, Brandon Ayuk from San Francisco led with 156 yards receiving, five catches, 1 touchdown. Tank Dell led with Houston with 8 catches, 149 yards, 1 touchdown. Tyreek Hill had 10 catches, 146 yards receiving, and a touchdown. Keenan Allen had 10 catches, 116 yards receiving, and a touchdown. Odell Beckham had his first 100-yard receiving game since 2019 with the Cleveland Browns. Damn. 4 catches, 116 yards, no touchdowns. And lastly, or not lastly, we had the rushers, the top running backs of the week. We had Jalen Warren from the Pittsburgh Steelers, 9 carries, 129 yards, and a touchdown. Devin Singletary from Houston, 22 yards carrying, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. Justin Fields, 18 carries, 104 yards. Isaiah Pacheco from Kansas City, 19 carries, 89 yards, no touchdowns. Raheem Mostert from Miami had 22 carries, 86 yards, no touchdowns. All right. And top defenders of the week, Jalen Phillips of Miami Dolphins, 5 tackles, 1 pick, and 2 sacks. God damn, he had a hell of a damn game. Buffalo Bills, Leonard Floyd had 3 tackles and 2.5 sacks. Michael Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys had two tackles and 2.5 sacks. Buffalo Bills, Rasul Douglas had 2 tackles, 2 picks, and Deron Bland had 2 tackles and a pick with a touchdown. That's it for week 11 recap. Big week. But let's get into week 12. Week 12 games, man. Let's get into these games. Like I said before, I'm recording this on a Thursday night, Thanksgiving night. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. First game on Thanksgiving. First game up, we had the Green Bay Packers going on the road to Detroit, the famous Green Bay-Detroit Thanksgiving game. As usual, we always kick off the Thanksgiving season with that game. Green Bay pulled it out after being 8.5 favorites. They continue the tradition of whooping Detroit's ass on Thanksgiving. Detroit just can't get a break. They need to stop wearing them damn uniforms on Thanksgiving. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But Detroit could not afford to lose this game, and they did. Now Green Bay and Minnesota are not too far away from them in this division. They kind of not help themselves moving forward. But anyway, Green Bay won this game 29-22. The over-under was 47. I picked the under. I was wrong on that. Detroit was 8.5 favorites at home, and they lost this game 29-22. Big disappointment there. Next up, we had the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. This was not competitive at all. Dallas jumped all over Washington from the start, 45-10. Dallas was favored by 13. We picked Dallas to win this game, and I won that one. I forgot to mention, I picked Detroit to win that game against Green Bay. I lost that game. Here, I picked Dallas to win this game over Washington. I was right about that. And lastly, we had San Francisco on the road going into Seattle, and the over-under was 43. I picked Seattle to win that game. I was correct. I picked the over. I was correct on that. Just like in the Washington-Dallas game, I picked the over on that one. So I was Not too bad so far. Starting week 12 off. 2-1, not too bad. I picked Green Bay. I picked Dallas. I picked San Francisco. I picked Detroit, Dallas, and San Francisco. Lost to Detroit Green Bay game. I should have known better. But hey, it is what it is. All right. So that's it so far with the first three games. Now, let's go on to the Friday night game. Not really sure why they got I didn't really look into why they even have a Friday game this year, but I know we're getting into that time of the year when we start to have more weekend Saturday games after college football season is over with. So maybe that's what it is. I don't remember why, but anyway, we have an AFC East rivalry game. We got the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Jets. Miami is 9.5 favorites on the road. 7-3 Miami Dolphins against the 4-6 New York Jets. All right. It's 40.5 over under. Not too much, not injury-wise, not too many things to look out for this game, even though it's on a short week. Only person that's of interest that might not play in this game is Durham Smith for Miami. He's questionable for this game. They're tight end. So they might not play, but other than that, we got the usual suspects out there starting. Now, Tim Boyle will get the start for the Jets this week after the benching of Zach Wilson on Monday. The head coach benched Zach Wilson to the third string role. He is no longer even in the rotation. Look like he's not even a backup for this. They brought in Trevor Siemian, former New Orleans Saint and former Viking quarterback, to be the number 2 guy off the practice squad. Head coach Robert Saleh announced this early in the week. That's big, big, big news. So it looks like Zach Wilson tenure is almost but over in New York. So we'll see what happens with Tim Boyle. I'm picking Miami to win this game. I'm picking Miami to win this game big time. I think Miami going to jump out all over this young kid. Going to beat the brakes off of him. Hopefully he don't get hurt. But they're going to need Breece Hall to have a standout game. He hasn't looked great this season so far. He's had spurts where he looked like he's been back from last season, but from that big injury he had to his knee. But yeah, I'm calling Miami to win this game. They're 8.5 favorites on the road. Excuse me, 9.5 favorites. I'm picking Miami to win this game 30-10. Miami takes this game. I think it's a blowout. 30-10. Miami wins this game. All right. Next up, we got the 6-4 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 5-5. Pittsburgh is favored by 2. All right. So Kenny Pickett and the Steelers taking on Jake Browning of the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow being out for the season is the big news of this week for the Bengals. T. Higgins is questionable this week for the Bengals as well. And George Pickens is also questionable. Both of those two receivers been hurt pretty often this season. So both teams going to need those two receivers to step up this week if they're able to play. But other than that, this should be a good game. Defensively, offensively, this might be a shit show with Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin firing their offensive coordinator midseason. Things to change things up a little bit. Things didn't look too much better this past week, so we'll see what happens against the Bengals. Not a good defense to have a new offensive coordinator starting off the bat, but Kenny Pickett, man, I would think the clock is ticking on Kenny Pickett as well to be a little bit more accountable now. So that now that they got somebody else taking over, you might want to see more out of your starting quarterback. He's a young kid, but still, you got to see something. Now, if you're the Bengals, you're just hoping that Jake Browning can just maintain the game. Just maintain the game, do the decent throws. Don't try to do too much. Hand the ball off to Joe Mixon. Check down if need be. Not to give the game away. Don't fumble. Don't throw no picks. Period. You're at home. You're going to have the crowd on your side. Jake Browning, relax. Relax. You're going up against a good defense, but relax. Now, if you're the Steelers, you need that defense to turn the fuck up and break this young kid's heart early. Get at them early. If they don't be blitzing early, I would be surprised. I'll be surprised. But I'm calling the Steelers to win this game. Steelers to win this game, not by much. I'm calling it 17-16. Steelers wins this game. Pick that game. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I got the Steelers. All right. So we got Jacksonville against Houston. This should be a good game right here. Trevor Lawrence going up against C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud at home. They've been looking good all season. I like this matchup. Winner takes the AFC South lead going into Week 13. Jacksonville is a 1.5 point favorite. The over-under is 47.5. 7-3 Jacksonville, 6-4 Houston. Should be a good game. Should be a good game. I'm calling Houston to win this game. I like Houston. I like C.J. Stroud. I think he has already passed up Trevor Lawrence already. He's a more complete, and man, I watched this kid. He is really more accurate than I expected him to be in this rookie season. Trevor Lawrence has been struggling just a little bit this season. He's not living up to some of the expectations, but the team around him is pretty good. So having Calvin Ridley and Travis Etienne to run the ball and catch the ball for you. I mean, they have a nice, solid offense, solid defense around Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence just hasn't been playing as great as he would expect him to play. Same thing goes with C.J. Stroud. Good offensive line, damn good defense, good coach, young coach, rookie coach. I like Houston in this game. I'm calling Houston to win this game. 21-17, Houston at home. Pick the under. All right. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers, 1-9 Carolina Panthers against the 3-7 Tennessee Titans. Ugh. Somebody's gonna be watching this game. Clearly, somebody's gonna be watching it. I mean, I'm sure there's Panthers and Titans fans out there that's gonna be watching this game. I won't be one of them people because I ain't neither one of those fans. Injury wise for this game, Traylon Burks for the Titans is questionable, as well as Hayden Hurst, tight end for the Carolina Panthers. So that's the only two notable injuries to note for this game. Bryce Young and Will Levis leading their respective teams. Bryce Young on the Carolina side, Will Levis on Tennessee. There's a lot of offense wishing to be had in this game. Carolina's offense has looked pretty weak, one of the worst in the league. Tennessee has been up and down. Derrick Henry's been on one of the few only bright spots, and every now and then DeAndre Hopkins. Damn, I wish he would have went to somewhere. I feel like DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry are being wasted on this shitty team, rebuild team in Tennessee. I don't like either one of these teams right now. But if I had to pick a game to win, I would have to say I'm gonna go ahead and pick Tennessee to win this game. I'm not confident in it, but Tennessee, it's not gonna really help them. I think they pretty much can write them off as not making the playoffs, and we already know Carolina's not making the playoffs. But like I said, Tennessee is favored in this game, 3.5 point favorites at home, 36.5 over under. I'm calling Tennessee to win this game. Tennessee should take care of this game. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game, but I think Tennessee should win 21-13 at home. They should win this game, but I ain't confident because it's two shitty-ass teams. Moving on. All right. Moving along to the 4-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 5-5 Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are favored -2.5 at home. The over-under is 44.5. All right. So let's look at this game a little bit deeper. Pause. Baker Mayfield against Gardner Minshew. Anthony Richardson obviously being out for the season. Uh, not a lot to see here. Chris Godwin is questionable for this game for the Bucks at receiver. Tampa Bay is fighting for this division right now. They have very much as a chance to anybody else in this division to win this division still. Atlanta's has taken the lead. New Orleans is barely holding on to this lead in this division. The Colts, the Colts are kind of in it, slightly in it. If they win this game, obviously they will be a little bit closer to that wild card spot. And if we actually take at the standings right now, the Colts are one game behind for the wild card spot right now, with two teams in front of them, with the Steelers and Bills. So they're right there on the cusp of this playoff spot. So if they win this game, they're right in the thick of it. But the Bucks wild card wise, they have a better chance of trying to win this division instead of getting into the wild card. But anything can happen. They got a couple teams ahead of them, like the Vikings, Packers, Rams, and Falcons. Now, with that being said, going forward with this game, I think the Colts should win this game. They've looked like a more better, complete team than the Bucks. The Bucks have so much talent, but they also have a lot of injuries on that defensive side. They have Devin White, and I'm blanking on who else is injured for their defense. They got a couple people that's out. So I'm picking Indianapolis to win this game. And actually, I'm thinking that they're going to dominate this game, matter of fact, too, because it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Gardner Minshew is going to light it up against that defense. I'm going to say they're going to score 28 points for the Colts, while the Bucks score just 17. So 28-17 Colts at home against the Bucks. Book that. I'm calling that a motherfucking lock. All right. Next up, the 2-8 New England Patriots taking on the 3-8 New York Giants. The Patriots are actually favored in this game by 3.5 on the road. The over-under is 34. All right, Darius Slayton for the Giants is questionable for this game, as well for the Patriots. Devontae Parker is questionable for this game, so both teams' top receivers are questionable, but expected to play. Tommy DeVito against Mac Jones. I don't know how Mac Jones has been able to keep his job. I guess they're not very confident in their backups behind him. So New England's just continuing to look like a terrible, terrible fucking team this year. The Giants came out with some hope this past week with winning a game, like we talked about earlier in the season, earlier in this episode. Tommy DeVito looked like a confident quarterback, was a top 5 quarterback this week in stats. So I'm calling the Giants with an upset. I don't know why they have New England even favored for this game, but whatever. I'm calling New York to win this game. I'm not confident in it, but I'm calling the Giants to win this game 2016 at home. The Giants win this game. Pick the over for this game. Pick the Giants for this game. All right. All right. Next up, the afternoon games. We'll get to the Saints game in a minute. The afternoon games, we got the 7-3 Cleveland Browns taking on the red hot Denver Broncos, 5-5 Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored in this game by 1.5. Interesting enough. The over-under is 36. All right. So now, Denver, Cleveland. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is leading Cleveland in this game. They came out with a win last week. We'll see if that defense can hold up against the Denver Broncos. I like Denver, man. Denver's been playing very, very good lately. Cortland Sutton has been playing good. Russell Wilson's been playing really damn good. Their running game hasn't been as much as they would like it to be. But I'm calling Cleveland to win this game. They got Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt running the ball. It's been a good tandem, as well as their defense. Everybody knows how good their damn Cleveland defense is. Myles Garrett leading the league in sacks. I'm calling it no different. I think he's going to eat the fuck up out of that defensive line, offensive line of Denver. Denver's offensive line is not very good. Russell Wilson has been one of the most sacked quarterbacks this season. Man, I'm calling a lot of disruption. But I will say I'm not counting Denver out completely, because of this one thing. Sean Payton has been pretty good with keeping his quarterbacks from getting sacked. Expect a lot of fucking screens in this game. It's gonna be a lot of fucking screens. So but I'm still calling Cleveland to win this game barely. 24-23, Cleveland wins this game. But it should be a good game. That defense should make it a really good game. I'm expecting Cleveland to pull this out though on the road in an upset. All right. That's the first late afternoon game. Next up, we got so we got Patrick Mahomes against Aiden O'Connell of the Raiders. The Raiders finally had their first loss under Antonio Pierce as the head coach. I like the Chiefs to bounce back in this game. I like the Chiefs to bounce back. We'll see about this receiving issue that they have. Justin Watson, Rashee Rice, kind of slowing down a little bit this week. They got to get Isaac Pacheco. They got to get him going. He's been the best part of their offense outside of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They got to get Pacheco going. On the other side of the ball, Aiden O'Connell just got to just hold stat. Don't do too many things crazy. Don't try to win this game on your own. Establish the run. Get that play action going with Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. Get those three guys rolling. They should be able to get some good wide open passes with that if they can open up the running game first. And then they'll get their passing game. But this Chiefs defense has been pretty good. This Chiefs defense has been playing really fucking good. They don't give up a lot of points. So I don't know if I see the Raiders winning this game, but this is a big rivalry game. Expect a lot of fights if you're going to be going to this game out there in Oakland. Out there in Las Vegas. Expect a lot of fighting amongst the fans. When Raider fans and Chiefs fans get together, it's never a pretty sight. So it's kind of like the Falcons and Saints, Giants, Eagles. It just don't get pretty. So I'm calling the Chiefs to win this game and bounce back from their loss. I'm calling the Chiefs to win 34-24. 34-24 Chiefs. All right. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills at 6-5, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles at 9-1. Philly is favored by 3. Over-under is 48.5. Game of the week. The motherfucking game of the week. Buffalo Bills, Philadelphia Eagles, 6-5 Bills, 9-1 Eagles. I like this game for the pure fact that there's going to be a lot of offense should be in this game. Now, which type of Philly defense you're going to get is going to depend on how bad Josh Allen might look. And we already talked about, me and EJ talked about this a lot, how I'm not a fan of Josh Allen. I think he's a little overrated. He hasn't proven himself at all, especially for him to be on the cover of Madden. I didn't understand why he was on the cover of Madden, but whatever. I digress. I think Philly should run circles around Buffalo. The defense is so damn good for Philly. Now they have been giving up. Have been getting gashed in the yardage department a little bit here and there lately, but I think Philly should win this game easily and handily, better than this 3-point. I think they're going to force a lot of turnovers in this game. I would say 2, 1 at least by Josh Allen, probably maybe even a fumble from somebody else. But I'm calling Philly to win this game. 27-21. 27-21, Philly wins this game. I like Philly in this game. I think Philly should take care of business. That's, again, the motherfucking game of the week. All right. Now, that's it for the late Sunday afternoon games. Now, let's get into the Sunday night football. 8-3 Baltimore Ravens against the 4-6 Los Angeles Chargers. Also should be a good game as well offensively for all the people that's involved: Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, Odell Beckham, Keenan Allen. Baltimore, in the full driver's seat of the AFC North at the moment. The Chargers, the worst team in the AFC West, don't look like they're going to make the playoffs. Big waste of Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler. Didn't even mention him in this part. But yeah, I think that this game won't even be close, honestly. Even though you got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on the defensive side for LA. Just don't understand why they're not working and why they're not clicking. So I can see a lot of things going to change for this team probably moving forward. But as far as injury-wise, we got Odell Beckham and Zay Flowers for the Baltimore Ravens side that are questionable. You got Jalen Guyton and let's see who else is on here. Jalen Guyton and Gerald Everett are questionable for their side for the receiver and tight end for the Chargers. So I'm still thinking that there's going to be a lot of points in this game. Lamar Jackson is going to be running all over this fucking field, but he might be running for his life a little bit with that pressure that they're going to be bringing on from the edge. But that might leave the middle of the field wide open for him to run it wherever he wants. So if I would be the Chargers, I would definitely keep a spy over the middle just to keep Lamar Jackson honest. But we'll see what happens. I'm calling the Ravens to win this game, though. By the way, and to continue the Justin Herbert descend to get Justin Herbert to New Orleans. But I'll get to that in a minute. But with that being said, I think the Ravens wins this game 24-17 on the road. I think the game will be closer than that point total suggests, but I think the Ravens will win this game on the road, and they will cover. All right? All right. That's Sunday Night Football. Now, Chicago Bears, 3-8 Chicago Bears, taking on the 6-5 Minnesota Vikings. Monday Night Football. This should be a decent game here. Justin Fields back. He looked like he was all the way back last week. They can just get a couple things going. It'll be a real threat moving forward. They might need some more defensive players as well in the offseason, but they're not making the playoffs. Minnesota, Joshua Dobbs and the Vikings been having a Cinderella season almost to try to make the playoffs. Currently, they're sitting in the last playoff spot right now. The Bears have no shot. As far as injuries-wise, T.J. Hawkinson for the Vikings is questionable. DJ Moore is going to be playing. Alexander Madison, I think DJ Moore for the Bears and Alexander Madison will be the X factors for both teams to really open up something big for this game. T.J. Hawkinson, they're going to need T.J. Hawkinson to play for the Vikings if they want to win this game. Minnesota should take care of this game. They better take care of this game if they want to keep pace and stay in the playoff hunt. And I think they will. I think Joshua Dobbs has actually been one of the better quarterbacks in this league this year that doesn't get talked about. And for everything that he had to go through with being traded midseason, we're getting becoming the starter for the Cardinals while Kyler Murray's hurt. Kyler Murray comes back. They trade him away to Minnesota to a great position where he starts day one as the starting quarterback because of the fact that Kirk Cousins gets hurt and Jaron Hall, his backup, gets hurt as well. So Joshua Dobbs looks like he has the reins for the rest of the season. So with that being said, I like Minnesota to win this game as they should win this game. I'm calling Minnesota to win this game. I'm calling it 2017 Minnesota at home. Pick the under. Pick the under on the points. All right. Last but not least, we got the 5-5 New Orleans Saints. Check out the NOLA edition hat I got you. If you know in the motherfucking podcast, NOLA edition, you know what I'm saying? 504. Going up against the 4-6 Atlanta Falcons. Big NFC rivalry, NFC South rivalry game. The Saints are favored by 1.5. Injury-wise, Mac Hollins is questionable for the Falcons. and their kicker Younghoe Koo is also questionable, but expected to play. For the Saints, they lost Michael Thomas for potential long unknown disclosed time. We don't know how long, what if his time frame that he's gonna come back, if he's gonna come back. But A.T. Perry steps in for the Rashid Shaheed, and A.T. Perry will step in response to him being missing, as well as Chris Olave. So that kind of hurts their offense a little bit more. Derek Carr is also still dealing with a shoulder injury, so we'll see what happens. Desmond Ridder has been placed back into the starting lineup for this team. So I'm calling the Saints to win this game. Fuck it. The offense has been looking suspect at best. They're coming off a bye. They should be fucking prepared for this game. I think the fact that Derek Carr didn't get a chance to be cleared until recently is a big mistake. Even if you want to establish that Derek Carr is the quarterback for the future of this team, let him sit and rest another week. He's just coming out of concussion protocol. Let him fucking sit. One thing I will say, I'm not too impressed with Dennis Allen is the fact that he leaves his quarterbacks in there for too long when they're hurt. He did the same thing with Jameis, left them in there too long, and then punished him after he got hurt and for leaving him in there. Now, same thing goes with Derek Carr. Derek Carr doesn't look like he's right. Nothing. He doesn't look right. He can't push the ball down the field like he normally has in the past, and has turned into a check down assassin when he gets into these games. Now, the last time that the Saints played, he gets injured. In comes Jameis Winston, brings them all the way back. They almost win the game. It's just a different type of offense. Feels like when Jameis is in the game versus when Derek Carr is in the game. And for whatever reason, well, I kind of know the reason. Dennis Allen, people forget that Dennis Allen drafted Derek Carr when he was a rookie. That same year, Dennis Allen was fired mid-season, and he didn't get a chance to finish out the things that he was able to do. Derek Carr is a Dennis Allen guy. I think it was the plan from the beginning, even since last year, to get him out of the Raiders organization and get him over to the Saints. They was flirting with that shit since last year, in my belief. And that's why Derek Carr got paid. That's why Derek Carr is the current starter, and his job security is not in jeopardy. So if you're a Saints fan, you're fucked. You have Derek Carr, Dennis Allen combination moving forward. So with that being said, they should win this game. Atlanta's not good. Now, Bijan Robinson does slightly concern me as a fan, and potentially could gash this team running wise, but we're going to see what happens. The rushing game for the Saints is non-existent. It doesn't exist for this team. So the Saints are pretty one-dimensional. So if you stop the offense passing, you pretty much stop them completely as an offense. So until the Saints get an established running game, they will be one-dimensional, and teams will continually to beat them. They might catch a couple of teams off guard because of the fact that the defense is so damn good. That's why I'm picking the defense to really step up and really beat up on Desmond Ridder and the rest of these guys. I'm calling the Saints to win 21-20 on the road. I'm not confident in it, but as a Saints fan, I cannot pick the Falcons. It ain't in me like that. I ain't cut like that. I can only pick the Saints in this regard. Saints win 21-20 on the road. Book it. Take the under on the points. All right, that's it for Week 12 games. That's it for our picks, man. That's all the time I got for this episode. You already know what it is. The glasses is on. You already know what that means, man. It's time to get up out of here. So with that being said, man, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure y'all join the crew. Join the crew. Hit the like button. Drop us a message, a voice message if you want to talk your shit, or just drop us a comment in the comment section below. So make sure you tap in with us, man. Make sure you tap in with the crew. Give us your picks. talk your shit. All right. With that being said, I'm repping the 504, the West Bank to be specific. You already know what it is, man. It's the motherfucking picks, week 12, week 11 recap. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, man. I'm your host, Beanie Man, a.k.a. Mr. Headquarters.
Mr. Headquarters taught me.
Motherfucking picks. You already know what it is. It's the motherfucking podcast.